Dodger fans got to live the full Teoscar Hernandez experience the last couple games. He strikes out 4 times in game 2. He gets 4 hits in game 3, and he looked like a different guy.
He did. He was locked in. He did not have 3 wild swings outside the zone. He had 1 and then lock in. Slow the game down, and you're able to mechanically trust. This is the problem that people don't understand sitting at home. Like, how can a guy just go 1 for 20 in the postseason or the World Series?
No.
You lose your feel and your timing, and when you lose your feel and timing and your mechanics, you start stressing and pressing and searching for hits instead of trusting the process. And the guys who can slow it down and aren't bothered, and talking to Dave Roberts, is like, he ain't bothered by anything, no matter what happens.
On the hands to short, he said he might put the rest of us through an emotional roller coaster, but he is as steady as they come. He's the first out of the second. Dodgers trying to solve Shane Bieber in this game, the native of Laguna Beach, who spent 6 seasons in Cleveland. Won a Cy Young in 2020. You mentioned the Tommy John surgery that he had early on last year. Gets traded to the Blue Jays in July. Continues to finish off his rehab. Comes back and was way better than you would ever envision a guy would be after missing that much time. And this postseason has been hit or miss, which is more what you expect for a guy fresh off surgery. In the championship series, he won game 3, dominated in Seattle with 8 strikeouts over 6 innings. But then in game 7, he was out of there with 2 outs in the 4th. There's 1-0 to Max Muncy downstairs.
Well, the biggest thing about him is he tries to stay out of the middle of the plate. He pitches to all 4 quadrants, and the extra day rest they feel like is going to help him, and why he's pitching game 4.
No.
It might come at the absolute perfect time because they need him to go 7 innings. I mean, 7 innings is a dream scenario for John Snyder, and of course, if that's the case, that means they're in the game or winning.
One of the things in last night's game that was amazing was these bullpens. As Muncy takes the 1-out walk. 2 bullpens that were the sore spots for the clubs combined to throw 26 innings and keep it going deep into the night.
Well, part of that is out of necessity, and you're knowing if you give up a run, you probably lose. The other part of that is offensively, you go into a philosophical approach of, I must hit a home run to win this game. And when you do that, the subconscious part of your body says, I'm going to win it right now. We saw an abnormal amount of pop-ups and flyouts in the extra innings.
Tommy Edman with 1 away. Rips one down the line, foul.
We didn't see any of those swings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. In a 9-inning game, you know you got time. You're going to play the game more normal. In an extra inning game, you're like, 1 swing. Let's go. And everybody starts changing their approach, and you get for these kind of marathon games sometimes.
It was 5-5 after 7 innings. It was still that way until Freeman homered in the bottom of the 18th.
No. Go ahead.
Ball 1 strike on Tommy Edman, and take your pick what stands out to you. You can go back to the crazy base running play in the 2nd inning of the game. That got buried by another 15 or 20 wild plays. How about Tommy Edman's adventure of a night? 1 for 8 at the plate, a key error where when he makes that error and Alejandro Kirk follows it with a home run, you're like, he may be the GOAT in this game that everybody's pointing to as costing the Dodgers game 3. By the end of it, he had made one huge defensive play after another that is the lasting image of him. Waits on this 2-1 from Bieber. Edman up the middle, base hit center field. Muncy running the bases hard. Varshall's arm is not good. First and 3rd wide.
Biggest part of the field on the infield is up the middle. And that's exactly where he went. Gets on top of the ball, hits it right back up the middle. Easy 1st to 3rd situation. And now we got our first run scoring opportunity for the Dodgers. And Bieber's going to try to induce a ground ball here. Really trying to get a ground ball to shortstop.
With Kiké Hernández coming to the plate. Another one of the themes of last night's game. Neither team good with runners in scoring position. They combined to go 4 for 26. As part of that approach you're talking about, instead of the simple base hit to get a guy in, those big swings, and they didn't. Hernández in the dirt. Kirk able to knock it down there with a backhand.
You know what stands out for me, and it's maybe a little unfair to cherry pick the one situation, but right after the pitching coach came out, Ohtani's at the plate, Dominguez is on the mound, and I know it's only a 1-run lead, but he didn't execute. Whether they told him to pitch around him, you just can't throw the first pitch right down the middle, especially a fastball. I thought we'd see a lot of splits. That turned everything upside down for John Schneider because he had made defensive changes, pinch running changes. Of course, Springer comes out of the game, and they had no offense the rest of the game to score a run, in my opinion, based on what they were trying to defend and finish the game off with.
Well, he said with 3 games in a row right here, he was going to look for the kill in one of them to guarantee that the series gets back to Toronto, and they had it right there with the lead late. The chase from Kiké Hernández, 1 ball, 1 strike. 18 innings, 399 minutes of epic baseball. One of the greatest World Series games of all time. Hernández had 2 hits for the Dodgers. Trying to get him on the board here in game 4. Bouncer foul, 1 and 2.
Well, if Hernández is in pull mode and you make a good breaking ball pitch right here, unless he chops it slow, you're going to get a recipe of a ground ball. So you make this breaking ball. If you're Bieber, you throw it knee high in the middle of the plate and let it break. He will not stay off of it. He'll try to lift it, hit the top of the ball, and it'll be a ground ball. If you leave it up, he'll lift it in the air, and he could do damage with it.
The margin's so slim. First and third, 1 away. Scoreless second inning. 1-2 pitch from Shane Bieber.
No.
Slider taken away.
That one wasn't on the plate enough. It's a good pitch, 1-2, 100%. You're going to try to see if you can chase. But now you got to make this one look more like a strike and end up less like a non-competitive ball.
He's been throwing that slider more and more here in the postseason. Now he tries a 2-2. Hernández pulls it to left field to the corner and foul. Need to be lower?
Yeah, need to be lower. He hooked it foul. Now, again, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. He got out in front of that one, got to it. I would say if he wanted to go for the punch out now, you go inside and up or inside off the plate, get him to be able to swing and miss. Now you go for the strikeout after all those breaking balls if Bieber goes to the fastball.
Walking a single, have him at the corners. Another 2-2 from Bieber. It is a fastball, and it's lifted to deep right field. Barger goes back on it. Steps out of the warning track, plenty deep enough to bring home the game's first run.
The reason I didn't like that away is it's too easy to lift the ball away for that sac fly. You got to be so good inside to be able to do that as a hitter and pull your hands in. That pitch actually did him a favor to get that fly ball.
Kiké Hernández knocks in Max Muncy. The Dodgers go walk, single, sacrifice fly, and lead game 4. And one of the stories of last night's game was how good they were with 2 strikes. Dave Roberts had been talking about how disappointed he was in the fight, in the at-bats, in the games leading up to last night. But they had 11 2-strike hits. And Hernández with a sacrifice fly with 2 strikes right there.
A good piece of hitting on his part. He took what the pitcher gave him and he went right where the area you should go.
Andy Pages continues to get opportunities.
No.
Roberts at this point, John, is looking at this saying, okay, we got a 2-1 series lead. On paper, we got the better roster that should win. Pages has been terrible, but do we need to shake it up for the sake of shaking it up?
No, if you had 3 of those guys in there, someone would sacrifice and have to come out. But no, I agree.
So he continues to have Pages in there for his defense in center. He gets into this ball in the air to center field, but off the end of the bat, a touch, and Dalton Varsho gallops under it to end the inning. Dodgers strike first, a sac fly from Kiké Hernández.